The 8th chapter. A good declaryng of certain doubts that may fall in this work, treated by questyon, in distroiing of a man's own curiosity of cunning and of kindly wit, and in distinging of the degrees and the parts of active living and contemplative. Here beginneth the 8th chapter. But now thou askest me, what is he that thus presseth upon me in this work, and whether it is a good thing or an evil? And if it be an evil thing, then have I marvel, thou sayest, why that he will increase a man's devotion so much. For sometime methink that it is a passing comfort to listen after his tales, for he will sometime, methink, make me weep full heartily for pity of the passion of Christ, sometime for my wretchedness, and for many other skills that methinketh been full holy, and that done me much good. And therefore methinketh that he should on no wise be evil. And if he be good, and with his sweet tales doth me so much good withal, then I have great marvel why thou biddest me put him down and away so far under the cloud of forgetting. Now securely methinketh that this is a well-moved question, and therefore I think to answer thereto so feebly as I can. First, when thou askest me what he is, that presseth so fast upon thee in this work, proffering to help thee in this work. I say that it is a sharp and a clear beholding of thy kindly wit, presented in thy reason within in thy soul. And where thou askest me thereof whether it be good or evil, I say that it behoveth algates be good in his kind, for why it is a beam of the likeness of God. But the use thereof may be both good and evil. Good, when it is opened by grace, for to see thy wretchedness, the passion, the kinds, and the wonderful works of God in his creatures bodily and ghostly. And then it is no wonder though it increases thy devotion so much as thou sayest. But then is the use evil, when it is swollen with pride and with curiosity of much clergy and letterly cunning, as in clerks, and maketh them press for to be holden not meek scholars and masters of divinity or of devotion, but proud scholars of the devil, and masters of vanity and of falsehood. And in other men or women, whatso they be, religious or seculars, the use and the working of this kindly wit is then evil, when it is swollen with pride and curious skills of worldly things and fleshly conceits, in coveting of worldly worships, and having of riches and vain pleasures, and flatterings of other. And where that thou askest me why that thou shalt put it down under the cloud of forgetting, sithen it is so that it is good in his kind, and thereto, when it is well used, it doth thee so much good, and increaseth thy devotion so much. To this I answer and say, that thou shalt well understand that there be two manner of lives in Holy Church. That one is active life, and the other is contemplative life. Active is the lower, and contemplative is the higher. Active life hath 2 degrees, a higher and a lower, and also contemplative life hath 2 degrees, a lower and a higher. Also, these 2 lives being so coupled together, that though all they being diverse in some party, yet neither of them may be had fully without in some party of the other. For why, that party that is the higher party of active life, that same party is the lower party of contemplative life. So that a man may not be fully active, but if he be in part contemplative, nay, yet fully contemplative, as it may be here, but if he be in part active. The condition of active life is such, that it is both begun and ended in this life. But not so of contemplative life, for it is begun in this life, and shall last without an end. For why, that party that Mary chose shall never be taken away. Active life is troubled and travailed about many things, but contemplative sitteth in peace with one thing. The lower party of active life standeth in good and honest bodily works of mercy and of charity. The higher party of active life, and the lower party of contemplative life, lieth in goodly ghostly meditations, in busy beholding, unto a man's own wretchedness with sorrow and contrition, unto the passion of Christ and of his servants with pity and compassion, and unto the wonderful gifts, kinds, and works of God in all his creatures, bodily and ghostly, with thanking and praising. But the higher party of contemplation, as it may be had here, hangeth all wholly in this darkness, and in this cloud of unknowing, with a loving stirring, and a blind beholding unto the naked being of God himself only. In the lower party of active life, a man is withouten himself, and beneath himself. In the higher party of active life, and the lower party of contemplative life, a man is within himself, and even with himself. But in the higher party of contemplative life, a man is above in himself, and under his God. Above in himself he is, for why he purposeth him to win thereby grace, whether he may not come by kind. That is to say, to be knit to God in spirit, and in one head of love and accordance of will. And right as it is impossible to man's understanding a man to come to the higher party of active life, but if he cease for a time of the lower party, so is it that a man shall not move to the higher party of contemplative life, but if he cease for a time with the lower party. And as unlovable a thing as it is, and as much as it would let a man that sat in his meditations, to behold then to his outward bodily works, the which he had done or else should do, though all they were never so holy works in themselves. Securely as unlikely a thing as it is, and as much would it let a man that should work in this darkness, and in this cloud of unknowing, with an effectuous stirring of love to God for himself, or to let any thought or any meditation of God's wonderful gifts, kinds, and works in any of his creatures, bodily or ghostly, rise upon him to press betwixt him and his God, while they be never so holy thoughts, ne so liking, ne so comfortable. And for this skill it is that I bid thee put down such a sharp subtle thought, and cover him with a thick cloud of forgetting, be he never so holy, ne haughty thee never so well, and for to help thee in thy purpose. For why love may reach to God in this life, but not knowing, and all the whiles that the soul woneth in this deadly body, evermore is the sharpness of our understanding in beholding of all ghostly things, but most specially of God, meddled with some manner of fantasy. For the which our work should be unclean, and but if more wonder were, it should lead us into much error.